Okay, welcome everybody to our February meeting. And in February, what SACA does, or the Shore Acres Civic Association, is kind of has a year in review of what we did. And this year has been like no other year that we've had in our existence because it's been 2020. What can you say about it? And then we'll talk about 2021 and what some of our goals are and plans are for 2021. And it's kind of a building year, if you will, to get to 2022, where we'll have a lot of this done and a new recreation center. Hopefully the bridge will be mostly complete, and it'll be a lot more smooth sailing in 2022 than it was in 2020, certainly, and then in 2021. It's going to be a year where we have a lot of construction and a lot of kind of internal building within our organization. So first off, the Shore Acres Civic Association, I came across this in my research for the history of Shore Acres, and it's a little blurb that I found inside of the St. Petersburg Times, but if you read that, it's from 1926, which means our organization has been here 95 years, and it's, as far as I know, contiguous all the way through. We don't have good documentation of who is on the board except for these initial members here. And that is something I think special. SACA is one of the strongest organizations as far as neighborhoods go in all of Pinellas County. And I know that because I'm on the executive committee of the Council of Neighborhood Associations, and I've seen how organized some other places are or aren't. And Shore Acres is for sure one of the most organized communities in all of Pinellas County and possibly even Florida. We're very, very special in that way. And I'm also very proud of the board because we kept going during the pandemic. We stumbled at first and kind of took a while to get our bearings, but we are one of the few organizations that made it through this pandemic and kept going. And I'm very proud of that. It's been a different year, like I said, which we'll review here in a second, but we kept going. We kept striving. So SACA 2020, and the big thing, of course, is COVID-19. We were elected as a fresh new board in February of 2020. And then we had our first meeting. You guys remember that. And it seemed like anything was possible. And then 2 weeks later, the entire world shut down. And we had to kind of change our plans quite a bit from what we were going to do and figure out how do we serve our community during these somewhat troubling times. Probably the biggest thing we did is the platform that you're seeing this on now, and a lot of you are watching this on YouTube, of our Zoom meetings, and having this available to us for people that can't make it and gather in person because of social distancing. And one thing we're going to do in the future, even when we can meet in person, we're still going to have a very viable online option for people to come to these meetings. If the kids are home or you can't get out and you still want to come to the meetings, you can come to the meetings. And we've also started a YouTube channel where we post the recordings of all these meetings, so people can be informed and go to YouTube and watch it, even though they can't attend the meeting. Another thing we did, which I thought was good for the board, is we covered Hurricane Ada, and we try to help the community out as much as we could here. And then I think one of the more important things we did is we cleaned up the Facebook Shore Acres Civic Association group. The things we've done, the Zoom meetings, I apologize if anybody doesn't like their picture up here. This was the meeting that we had. I don't like the way I look particularly. I don't know why I chose this picture, but Zoom meetings, I think, have been a major thing that we've accomplished this year. And it's allowed us to still have meetings and still keep the community informed and still have the city officials come in. Because again, when we have our city officials come in here, it's not just to inform us of what's going on with the city. It's also for them to see us and see that we are involved and that we are organized. So it helps us, politically with the city, that they come in and we have that two-way communication with them. And that's, I think, has been very valuable. We've had Zoom meetings about the new pier, which is fantastic if you haven't been out there. And what amazed me is just the forethought that went into it, that a couple different paths to go in and out and to have little nooks and crannies and points of discovery. I still, every time I go to the pier, I've been there about 5 times, I find something new that I never saw before. And we had a great meeting about the pier. It's on our YouTube channel, and if you'd like to see it, you can go see that. We also had a meeting about the new recreation center and what the construction is going to entail and what the design looks like and things like that. We had a meeting about the construction that's going on, in particular the 40th Avenue Bridge. And then also probably our best meeting that we had from the year is the aftermath of the tropical storm Eta. And it is a hurricane, right? Hurricane Eta. And that, I think, brought the community together and was a very useful meeting that we had. And I think we really served the community well with that. Sidewalk chalk, you guys remember this? We were scrambling to figure out, okay, well, what can we do, to try and bring people together? And we had our sidewalk chalk with our brand new signs that hopefully we'll be able to incorporate a lot more this next year. The neighborhood walks, and I encourage you, please join us on these neighborhood walks. It's a great way to meet your neighbors, and it's a great way to discover your community. We're going to have them pretty much every month, except for the dog days of summer and some other times. And we're going to start them from a different place each time, so you can discover a different part of your neighborhood. And this has been just great. I enjoy these very much, and I encourage anybody out there, if you'd like to join us, we will advertise it, and come join us on these neighborhood walks. They're a lot of fun. Our Facebook page, I'm going to spend some time on this because I think our Facebook page is the most important tool the Shore Acres Civic Association has. It has become the #1 way we communicate with each other as a community. And talking with some other community leaders that don't have something like this, they kind of struggle in order to keep their community together and keep everybody talking to each other. Some of the changes that we made to our Facebook group is we've updated our rules and spent some time to go over this and figure out, okay, what's fair? The reality is it's a private group, and we can pretty much have whatever rules we want, but we want to be fair to the community because this is an essential part for a lot of our residents to learn information and to connect with their neighbors. I think it's probably the most important thing in the Shore Acres Civic Association arsenal as far as public service that we have. We've removed some members, and I have taken a lot of heat for this, in particular, a few. And 2 types of people that just weren't welcome in the group anymore. The ones that were very rude and used a tone that probably is used for some of the political sites out there, and attacking other people and stuff like that. And also outside Shore Acres people that kind of use this as an advertising platform and thought it was their privilege and their right to continuously advertise on our page. We've probably removed about 100 people. However, we've added at least 400 residents this past year. And that's pretty remarkable when you think about it. And I would encourage you, if you have neighbors that aren't on our Facebook page, please join it. However, here's the thing. We have questions, just 2 questions. Are you a member of are you a resident in Shore Acres? And if not, why do you want to join the group? And a lot of people aren't answering those questions. And we have to kind of imply I look at it, and if they know 15 people in the group already, okay, we can let them in. If they don't know anybody in the group, it's iffy, and we just let it kind of linger for 2 weeks, and then we decline it. So if you are encouraging people to join the Shore Acres Civic Association Facebook group, please tell them, answer yes. You live in Shore Acres, and we will instantly let you in. There's as soon as we get to it. However, there are some people that say they're residents and then they post an advertisement, and we can just remove them and remove their advertisement very quickly. We hope we've made it a more civil environment for you to interact in, and a lot more useful, because we just focus on Shore Acres. Not about restaurants that, you had a bad experience in on 4th or 4th Street, or, happy thought for the day or complaint for the week, just specific to Shore Acres. And I think it's a very valuable tool that we have. And I'm really happy that this year we've enhanced our Facebook group. And kind of joining with this, we also have a Facebook page, and we also have a YouTube channel where we can have our recordings from these meetings. So that's something that I'm real proud of that we've done this year. Hurricane Ada. The meeting that we had, we called city officials, and Nicole was nice enough to join us, who's an insurance claim attorney. We had live updates during the storm. Facebook was just going wild as far as when the floods come in, or is it coming? Is it, oh, mine flooded? Oh, it's in my house. And that, I think, was a good link people had to each other during this kind of scary time. And I really believe that during Ada and the aftermath of Ada, and in particular through our Facebook group and through our meeting, we helped to bring the community together during one of our most trying times. I mean, if a pandemic isn't enough, racial strife and political unrest and a toilet paper shortage, we have to get a flood just to cap off 2020, to put that crowning little exclamation point at the end of 2020. But I think we've come together, and in particular, the Facebook page really helped people discover, okay, am I paying too much for restoration? What kind of contractor do you have? What's going on in your house? And it helped us really deal with this, because I was here when we flooded before, and there was nothing. We walked around the neighborhood, and some guy from New York who was on Delaware gave me the scoop on what you do for your insurance claim. But if I would have met him, we didn't have Facebook back then, and we didn't have this community online to get together with that. So I'm happy with how we handled the hurricane.